Hello, folks, and welcome to Morning Coffee with Maddog Merv. Let's see what we got going on the channel today, shall we?
Maddog Merv today. Got our French roast this morning
Bagel.
again. No wonder I'm a big fat guy. I mean,
And then
holy
they
cow.
I always had a schmear, a schmear.
Probably going for my bagels.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe it. I have no clue.
And I got a bunch of chores to do. Oh, who wants to do that?
You know, hair bands of hair bands. It's like saying disco, right? Always been, my favorite. Anyway, this guy, he's another one of those that kind of does it behind the scenes. These 5 bands that should have been, or, were mislabeled as hair bands, whatever. He does all kinds of stuff like that. It's just some really cool behind the scenes kind of stuff that I love. And his channel is called Redbeard Videos. Redbeard Videos. Check him out. He's got some really good stuff. If you like the late 80s, early 90s scene, the hair bands, things like that. I think you will enjoy the stuff that he puts out. So it's Redbeard Videos. Man, beautiful middle of, a little bit past the middle of April, but wow, just absolutely beautiful weather. It's been it's interesting. Some years we have a really wet spring, and this was not one of those. This year we've had a lot of cool weather, a lot of cool fronts move through. Got kind of a late start on, still don't have the flowers in the flower bed yet. We should pretty quick. Few have come back up from last year. The grass has come back really good. Where it was good and healthy, it looks great. The areas where it wasn't healthy, I'm still trying to nurse it back to health. So, we're working on that. The GMC, yeah, it's not a GMC. As we all found out, it's a Blazer. I brought the Blazer home. Now, the reason I bought it and didn't bring it home for a few days was because here in Utah, along the Wasatch Front, which is the Salt Lake City, Ogden, and Provo area, you have to have vehicle emissions. Your vehicle has to put out a certain amount of emissions, to pass. And if it doesn't, then shame on you. You got to get your vehicle fixed so it doesn't pollute. Okay. It's a pain. Okay, I'll just tell you, it is a pain in the neck. It's a good way for the state to make some good money. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not knocking the clean air thing. I know we need that, but I'm knocking the fact that it's a pain to have to do this. Okay, so for older vehicles, particularly, and that's all I've really had over the years. Very rarely have I had a new vehicle. So trying to get them to pass emissions, we've had to learn a few tricks on how to do that. I remember with my son's Camaro, we had to retard the timing so badly it would barely run, but at least it would pass emissions. And then, of course, after it passed the stupid test, okay, I said it, stupid test, we move the timing back up so it would actually run, and then it's polluting the air again. Yeah, makes a heck of a lot of sense. Anyway, so, but it's what we had to do with his 82 Camaro in order to get it to pass. So the Blazer, it sat over where I had purchased it. It had sat there for about a week. Because I was trying to figure out how to get it past emissions. The state computers had been hacked into and apparently held hostage. And so they were down for over a week. Meaning, if you needed to get your car emissioned, it wasn't going to happen. And if you had to have it like today so that you could drive your car on updated tags, that wasn't going to happen. So you're driving around hoping you don't get pulled over and get a ticket, or you're hoping they don't impound it from wherever because your tags are up, all because the state has to have their precious money. Okay, great. So The computers are down. I can't get this thing done. But then it dawned on me, something that I had heard from one of my friends a few years back. In Utah, they have something called a vintage plate, meaning that if your car is over 30 years old, it doesn't require emissions anymore. Now, 67 and older never has required emissions because they didn't have emissions crap back then. But if your car's over 30 years old, they don't require an emissions test anymore. Yay! Now remember, this isn't a statewide thing. I can drive 30 minutes west to my son's house, and they don't need emissions in the Tooele County. Interesting. And yes, I could go down there. I could license the car down there. But I have to have a piece of mail saying that's where I live, you know. So it's just better. I want to license my car here, you know. This is where I live, you know. So I thought, oh, vintage plate. Yeah, I could do it as a vintage plate. So I had to make an appointment to go to the DMV because anymore, since COVID, you just don't do walk-ins. You have to have an appointment, and you know that's cool. I'm good with that. For a while, they didn't even have the lobby open, and the lines were 7-8 hours long to renew. It was horrible. But now you set an appointment, so I got one for the next day. Went there at the appointed time, walked right in. Didn't even have to stop. The lady at the front says, what time's your appointment? And as I'm walking up, I tell her who I am. She says, okay, your number, blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden there's this announcement, hey, number so-and-so, you know, gate 7, whatever it was. So I walked right in, paid my money, and got my license plates right then and there. So came home, got them on the Blazer, and I brought it home. So I've got a show coming up where we're going to do kind of a preliminary, here's the Blazer, and here's what the plans are. I'd like everyone to kind of see it up front. That way, when I get into this thing, we're gonna make some changes. We're gonna kind of fix it up. It's like a 1-to-1 scale model Blazer. It ought to be a whole lot of fun. Speaking of a whole lot of fun, I hope everybody liked the train layout. Sorry it took so long to get that thing cleaned up this year. I'm just really running behind. Got a lot of stuff going on, I guess. Getting close to retirement from my job, and a lot of stuff going on there. So with that and the grandkids, I don't seem to have the time that I did last year. I don't know. But that layout, it was a lot of fun getting it cleaned up and ready, and I think it looks kind of neat. There's still about half of it that I need to go through and get the track cleaned up and ready to go. I've got to move a couple of things around so that I can get my my bridge to fit properly, but at least half the layout runs great and looks good. I'm working on that Lincoln funeral train. Hopefully by next February I'll actually have the whole thing finished, I hope. But it was nice to get that Lincoln car, and that came from one of you folks. One of the viewers had a collection of his dad's stuff that you know, he's moving and he doesn't want to take this collection with, obviously, so he's selling some things off. And he contacted me because he knows this is something that would interest me, and we made a deal, and I am stoked. So thank you, Dave. I really appreciate it. It's awesome to have that on my layout. The piece on the glue, I hope it was okay for you. One of my friends had said, hey, kind of a basic thing on glue would probably be a good thing to put out there, because some folks probably, you know, have some questions about what glue is the best. And so, okay, you know, so that's why we did that. Upcoming this week, I think we have What's in the Box tomorrow. Pretty sure it's What's in the Box. The latest What's in the Box. And on the stash, boy, I don't know what we've got on the stash, because I got so many irons in the fire right now. A bunch of different kits that I've reviewed, so I'll have to see. But anyway, check out the stash on Thursday, see what's there. What else we got going on right now? Oh, next weekend will be Merv Fest. You know, we're getting to that time of year again. So next Saturday, we'll be down in brats and adult beverages and I don't know what else, but you know, watching some cool movies and just having fun. A little get together with my friends and I for you know, for birthday time. We do this every year, so we'll make sure and get some good video, and that'll probably be a show we'll do in another week or so. Anyway, I'm taking that Blazer today to the shop. I got to get the gas tank fixed. It's got the typical Chevy problem where it shows it's got like a quarter tank of gas and it's completely full. I got to get that fixed. If I'm going out on the desert, I got to know how much gas I got in the car. So I'm going to get that fixed. And then there's a bunch of other things that are on the list to get done. I'm going to try and make it what we call a 90-day wonder. For those of you who've been in the military, you know what a 90-day wonder is. Well, in my world, my car world, a 90-day wonder is a vehicle that you start fixing, and in 90 days, you look at it and go, wow, I wonder what this looked like, you know, beforehand. Because in 90 days, we plan on having it look completely, well, not completely different, but quite a bit different than what we started 90 days before. So that brings us to July. I'm hoping that its first real outing, if you will be this family outing that I've got. It's a couple weeks we're going to take and go explore in central Utah. So that ought to be a lot of fun, and yeah, hopefully within 90 days we'll have this this Blazer to a point where it'll be ready to go. So, well, my coffee's gotten cold, and I have a ton of stuff to get done. I'm sure you do too. Thanks for joining us today. Before I go, I gotta tell you, my friend Breaker Broke 23, you know, I only steal from the best. I only copy from the best. But I gotta tell you, he had a show just recently that just blew my mind. I mean, the verbiage he used was he's gonna review a Bluetooth speaker in the shower. And I'm like, oh, for the love of God, Mike, no. You know, guys our age, no, no, we don't look good in the shower. And as it turned out, there's no water involved. There was no state of undress involved, thank the good Lord. But he was talking about a Bluetooth speaker that, you know, it's a problem that I've got too. I'll listen to the morning news, and then comes time to hop in the shower, and I have to pause what I'm listening to. And if it's a live broadcast, I can't pause it, I just miss it, and hop in the shower because you can't hear, you know, your phone sitting outside of the shower there. So he's got this great solution. It's a Bluetooth speaker that's water resistant that actually goes into the shower enclosure with you, and you get to continue listening to your morning news. I'm like, that's freaking brilliant. So, but the reviewing of a model kit in the tub, I don't know if we're gonna do that one or not. But anyway, I'll think about that. I love his ideas. I mean, gosh, I got some amazing friends. I'm just gonna tell you. You know, anything that I really am, anything that I can lay claim to, you know, being semi-good at or anything, really comes from the fact that I have these amazing friends who are so creative and so smart and witty, and I'm so grateful for them. So anyway, get off and enjoy your Sunday, and we'll see you tomorrow.